Hi everyone, McBeard here, back with another deck guide for you. Into the season of the Viper we go, and we're going to start things off with FOLTEST. I think a lot of people have wanted to see a FOLTEST deck lately, and I am one of those people. So why don't I just take that power upon myself, jump in with one of my favorite leaders of all time and all incarnations. I really think FOLTEST is awesome right now. 3 pivotal moments you can turn the tide of the game. Gives you a lot of strange push potential you wouldn't have with other leaders. And since a lot of the big chunky removal cards at the neutral space went up in value, like the Enraged Ifrit, or I should say down in value, I guess, like Enraged Ifrit, and with Regis Bloodlust, FOLTEST, with his ability to have Zeal, actually has a lot of really, really strong removal options. Murktebrak is dropping at a 4 ping, Selkirk is dropping at 6 with the duel. It's just great. Prince Ansei is also dueling with Formation. You also can just jump in there, but he is also a 10-point card. But he's the best. He's like one of the best ones for sure. And of course, say Synthesis Blaze can actually kill some stuff and go through shields at the same time. I think it's just great. He just has lots of really, really strong removal, and I feel like you are getting them at a good deal, but you're paying for it because FOLTEST does have the 164 cap of his deck. So where did I find the most fun in this deck? I'm talking a lot about FOLTEST's ability to remove, but how can I make that really work for me? I know the dragons are great with FOLTEST. They always have been, they always will be. It's just FOLTEST and dragons go together. So Ek usually goes in a FOLTEST deck, you know, in a meta where you care about this kind of stuff. Geralt of Rivia is going to see a ton of play. So Ek, with the ability of Zealing out with FOLTEST, or just getting it free Zeal with either Vess, which you definitely still play. Because again, we just have a lot of great removal options and a lot of great Zeal options as well. So Vess helps Ek out. You also have 3 dragons in the deck, and they're all legit cards. They're just all strong removal cards or strong long round value cards. Or in a pinch, you save FOLTEST for it. FOLTEST is very versatile in this deck because almost all of these cards are orders. So you have just the potential to do all sorts of different things. So let's talk about Vandergrift's Blade. I like this card. I think this card is actually quite good. Your opponent needs to have an answer for it, and your opponent kind of already needs to have an answer for a couple other things in this deck as well. And if they have an answer for it, then you don't lose out too much. But if they don't, you know, you really, being able to put this in the deck for 8 is really not that much of a commitment when you have so many good cards already. It's extra utility. It's no interaction on the turn you play it. You can play it after you play a knight or before you play a knight if you just want to test the waters with something. It's just actually a very good card. The dueling knights, Prince Ansei and Selkirk, absolutely love this card. That goes without saying. But also Vandergrift himself is boosted by his sword. Thank you. Of course, this is great. Vizigurd as well is a knight, so he gets boosted. Plus, since there's going to be more boosted units on the board, he's likely to get a lot of charges. Again, great FOLTEST target. And Ek, also a knight, and Ek is working in this deck anyway, so just more incentive to play Ek. Wyndham of Atraz, it's something that your opponent needs to have an answer for. Also a knight, we have the Sintren Knights, actually low-key turning into one of my favorite 4-drops right now. Not because of Vandergrift's Blade, because people just play that death blow. So I'm just able to play 6-point bronzes on a regular basis. No one's really going to stop the buff. No one really cares enough to kill it, and it stays out of reach of things to die. Like, it doesn't die to pings from Wyvern, it doesn't die to other 2 pings, and it actually stays out of reach of Brokilon Sentinels, etc. Damn Sorceress at the very bottom of the deck because I really wanted to play 2 of these cards, but I just felt like I had room to upgrade some of these cards. I think the Lyrian Cavalry has tons of value, as well as being able to shield this card. Cavalry also tanks removal as well. Just in general, fine to play on blue coin if you want to play it as your 3rd card. Just make sure that you're just a little bit more pushing power. So I think to actually get the value out of this card, you probably want to play it after the Artificer. You're not going to see that in my gameplay, but I feel like that these days anyway. Lyrian Arbalest, Cadueni Revenants, Blue Stripe Commandos, just all great cards, all great FOLTEST cards, all great orders cards. Blue Stripe Commando usually can get Zealed out with Vess. You know, depending on the round, depending on what you're getting that value with FOLTEST, you might want to use FOLTEST here. I generally wouldn't. Also can be a great shield target for Sintren Artificer early in round 1, and just sometimes will stick. The opponent just might not care about this card. So I just think it's always worth it to run Blue Stripes Commando because there's no other thinning cards for Northern Realms. There's nothing at 5 or 4 like Monsters have or scoia'tael has or Skellige has now with Drum and Shield Maidens or Nilfgaard. Well, Nilfgaard's thinning is expensive, I guess, but it's easier. I don't know. It's just a little bit harder to thin, I think, with Northern Realms. And because of that, I feel like general card quality needs to be higher in a Northern Realms deck, and I think that FOLTEST really offers that. So you're able to play a lot of these great dragons with Ek, you're able to play a lot of these great knights with Vandergriff's Blade, you're able to run huge pieces of removal with Ansays, Selkirk, Vess, Murktabraka, Visegard, Ek, and the Kidwini Revenant also has great synergy with all these extra pings you might have from the Arbalest as well. You're able to protect all these units if you want to, and being able to put a shield on a dueling unit is very good. A lot of this stuff really, really works. One note I will say in the gameplay, I was running Knighthood in the gameplay. I don't recommend this card. I have since replaced it for Kukudak, and I think I upgraded one of these 4s to another Revenant, I think, is something that I ended up doing. But, of course, I always encourage experimentation. I think this Bronze Core is just a solid Bronze Core for FOLTEST in general. The Center Knight, hey, your mileage may vary. You don't have to play Vandergriff's Blade in this deck for it to be pretty decent, I think. Vandergriff's Blade might actually be the cut. I'm just having way too much fun playing the card right now because it's new and it's fresh and people don't really know how to deal with it. So hope you like the gameplay. This is drag and drop FOLTEST because we're dropping those dragons. Take care, my friends. It's YouTube. If you like the video, show me, tell me. I'll see you next time. Yeah, I think Artificer's just a fantastic standout card. Good. It's a good card back. I like the card backs. Just they don't have to be that flashy. It's just a cool little option. Vanities. Villum can be God, there's a lot of gold cards in this hand. Villum can be later? Alright, well we're not gonna get Vandergriff's Blade in our hand every single time. Any deck builder worth anything knows that when you build a deck around something, you just won't draw it for the first 15 games. 15. Bran, huh? What kind of apple is that? I actually don't know. I think it actually might be a Golden Crisp. It could be an emperor, a spy, perhaps. All right. Well, this lived. That's pretty cool.
Oh, well, that's new.
Okay. Idiot-proof row highlights. Drop it on the wrong row in the dev stream. That was too good, right? You can't write that. You can't write that.
Might even be amusing.
Woo! It's a very aggressive start. You missed. You missed. All right, so how are we feeling about this? How are we feeling about this? How do we want to answer this? What am I more worried about? Herald is probably more long-term value. He could have Scalds. He could get a lot of value out of Coral, but I feel like he's going to get at least 2 points out of Herald. And there's nothing I can do about that. What is going on? Crowdosaurus with the 4-month resub with that Amazon Prime. Choose any streamer in the world and you chose me. Gonna miss the 2 board halves? I mean, I think it was a cool idea.
We shall do.
I mean, I think it would be cool if the faction boards always... I mean, you can't, no, because then you always have to have a half a board. I think it was a cool idea because it's like you're meeting on the borders of you're meeting on the border. I liked it. There's no reach, right? I kind of want to make him answer these cards.
Don't you pester me.
Yeah, he doesn't care all right. So these are pretty good cards in my hand at this point. We've got all the dragons accounted for here. I mean, does it make a difference? We'll get ahead. That's like the most important part here. But I think we might have to pass. Maybe we missed our opportunity to pass. Or we could just push this all the way and win. We could just win, right? I mess around. Oh no, this is the first game. This is the first game of the day. I had to be out of the house for the first part of the morning. Had a little landlord inspection at the house, so wanted to make sure that was all done with. I thought about this all day. I wasn't even like in the house. I was we're walking the dog and just thinking about what we were gonna do today. Has he had removal this whole time? Of course he has. He hasn't wanted to play his good cards, right? But what are the good cards? Ah, Small Blood Totem. I think I'm gonna like push here. But I guess I'm playing all my good cards. This is
Stand and fight, cowards!
thank you. All right, here's Ek then, right? We'll just go ahead and play Ek here.
God's blessed it. My breast chafes.
Ooh, he's going for it.
Listen well.
He's probably like, all right, play your cards. So he's got to play a 10 spot to take me here. My hand's pretty dope. Don't I have a threatening long round? Don't I take this pass? Why didn't he play it next to the totem? Ah, because he just didn't want to. He probably has K-Nut in his hand or something like that. Aaron still say selected? Well, maybe I just clicked off and I didn't. Do I pass or not here? I'm going to pass. After all that, I'm going to pass. He needs to play a pretty big card, honestly. So, I mean, his hand is likely not great yet, but it could be very good.
Let's take the measure.
Wouldn't it have been better to kill the skull? Oh. Okay, well, I'm scared now, but I do feel good about the game. Having last say in round 3 really important? I mean, it can be very important. It can be very important. Thing is, I have last say anyway, now.
God save the queen!
So I still have last say. That's the good part about this game. And for me, last say is quite important because my last say is Octopus with FOLTEST. I'm so scared to mulligan this. The pickups are too good. The rest, it's all better, right? It's all better than this, except for that, I guess. Fuck, that's a bad card. That right there is not a good card, but I just picked up there. Down with a mirror. Thunderpants. Yeah, it depends on the deck. Like there are some there's some opponents you just can't really realistically. If you give them last say, you better have a really good reason. Like Woodland Spirit is a good example. It's gonna be hard to keep the shield on Windy here. But this is a good... I have a death blow for my Cintron Knight. A lot of red-hot cards that I wanted to play here. Although Visegrad would be kind of lame here, right? We'd be able to get like 1, 2... Well, we get 3, 4 potentially. 4 charges potentially. 5, 6 if these are my Octopus targets potentially. It's not that crazy.
We ride
Into the fray. The dragon drop change. Love that. Love those dragons. Those dragons are dropping. There's dragons in my deck. I'm going to drop them. I've already dropped a dragon in this game already, if you can believe it. So playing a skirmisher from hand bodes well for me, I must say. Bodes quite well for me. We're going to drop those dragons. Cintron Knight is not a bad card. It's just now there's actually a reason to play it because Vandergrift's Blade boosts it. It's actually really cool. I just didn't really look at the Knight selection before, but I think that Cintron Knight is like an excellent support card for that. There's Yada showing up. I just want there to be a lot of units here so like random pings don't knock the shield off of Wyndham. Also, he's going to remain a threat here. And my opponent's going to run out of, like, stuff to do, right? Sintra! What's this I like? Which one is this? Watch this.
The finest of Temeria's finest.
Oh, it's thanks. Is it thanks?
This
I like. Yeah, I started off the stream with the patch note reading. That took, like, the first bit. Dime Radium Bomb, dead card. Ooh, I'm feeling really good about this game now, my friends. I'm making these low provision cards work for me here. We're gonna get the shield. We're gonna get the shield right back on Wyndham next, but this is also depending on what gets removed here. We'll fight it. Oh, fight it. Nah. Alright, we're going to give the shield back to Wyndham at this point, I think.
Let's make something
beautiful together. So, Octopus is kind of lame here, right? Octopus isn't doing a whole lot for me. Does he have Greg? I guess he still maybe run it, yeah. Oh no, FOLTEST does still stay selected.
Oh, well, that's new.
For the Queen!
I think Kukudak's a reasonable inclusion. I'm just having a really hard time remembering that last game now. I feel like I'm not learning at all from it. Oh, here we go. This feels like this wasn't the best use of his tactical or his leader, because I feel like with just one use of my leader, I'm like back in this. I mean, I just probably play the Revenant here, and I'll play FOLTEST on the Revenant. I think that's actually like pretty good. If I'm going to be trading a leader ability here, I think that this is probably the best way to do it. That's why I always like to hold on to Ek. You never really know what's going to happen. Do I have a way of doing a point of damage here? I don't want to use FOLTEST. So I'm not going to use FOLTEST. How about that?
Give me it.
It's okay, new patch, you're allowed to lose some games. I mean, at least I lost against some like crazy out there thing I never saw before. Alchemist Beckers, those cards were in the game before. I love this game. It'll be real easy to kill a Revenant now. Oh, this is a big play. He's playing some big stuff. All right, I have to take action again, I think. I feel like all the games have gone pretty well for me actually caring about round 1 on Blue Coin. Seeing the Hensel play and the Prince Sensei's play, it's just this is a huge commitment. How far is he going to go?
Follow me!
Okay. I feel like he's playing in a way that makes me really just not want to give him any control of this game at all. That's the way he's playing. So I'm just gonna bleed him, I suppose, if I have the opportunity to. Is he playing Greg? Like, I'm not really sure what this is here. He may just have wanted to play a card because he thought that this was it for me. I'm more inclined to believe that's what happened here. That he was just playing a card because he's like, he'll pass. What Vilma options do I have? It's a great question. We have Vess, we have Prince, we have Eck, we have Okfist, Selkirk, and Vandergrift, and Visegard, because our opening hand really was not that fantastic. And yet, here we are. So 2 engines on the board. I feel like he can still compete here. The choice would be he needs to have a certain amount of faith in his hand now that Henselt is done. He's passing. Without faith. Without faith. V-Griff's Blades looking kind of cool. Again, I feel like I want to bleed him. I feel like I was scared of Henselt, now I'm scared of his other win con. So where do I go from here? I think I might just lead off with Vandergrift's Blade and we'll just go to town. We'll see. I think I want to bleed him. I'm not sure about this card. I have a lot of deploy cards.
Let's make something beautiful together.
So I'm gonna play Vandergrift's. Grant Vandergrift right away. And whatever he shields, I'll probably just play Synthesis, use my last FOLTEST charge to... I mean, I could just play Lyrian Cavalry first.
God save the Queen!
I want to scare him a little bit. What's the shielded unit? Botchling? Okay. We'll keep this 1 extra ping for reach for maybe the Cintron Knight. But we're pushing. We're just going to push here, I think. I just think we have the ability. We want to drop Wyndham soon as well. Vernon Roach. That's a big card. I want to see it. A Dahlia. That's a huge play right here.
Destiny is unswerving. Cheated. It will not be.
What the hell is happening?
We ride into
Should still be able to get a lot of value here. That was just a good target there for the Cintron Knight, but I do need to play Wyndham. Wyndham usually, Wyndham will get boosted a little bit, but without a way to reapply the shield, we can just assume that anything that pings is worth his while to use it anyway, early on.
Remember Sintra!
Remember Sintra. Now we got an engine on the board. We should get Vander. Ooh. Damn. Ah, good. Not it stops. Both of our buffs have stopped at this point. Yeah. So Willem, we have to look at this now. God, Willem's looking pretty damn good. I'm just pushing all the way here. If he has Drog, it's gonna suck. If he has like any other combo, it's just like I have a lot of points right now. He has to commit. There we go. There's the whatever Drog. We can kill Willem immediately. We are gonna get Prince Ansay's, which is gonna be boosted, but we do need to give. Well, he's gonna be boosted anyway, so it duels anyway. So we're just gonna duel into this bad boy here. And we're going to kill this bad boy here. And I don't know. I think we set up our board pretty well here. If he can do this in one card, then... not quite. Just barely gets it. But we get the last say in a short round here. Vess is a good short round card. Selkirk is very good with Vess. And he's leading off, so we kill the engine. He has to kill this, and we get Selkirk.
Stand and fight, cowards!
I think this works quite well. Damaging Selkirk is just like, boom. It's like, what else can you do now? We could still lose this game, by the way. I just think that we just saw some crazy cards. He could have Kadwini Knights in hand, right? He changed everything into Revenants or Cursed Knights. But if he's just playing like a Cursed like Spectre strategy, it just can't be all that fantastic.
These dogs have no honor.
Last play is weak. Oh, he doesn't even want to play the card. Well, you get experience for playing cards, so I'll play those cards. That was good. That I felt like I had to push a little bit there. I'll take it.